Hey viewers, this is Bone Shaker TV. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe and of course click on the notification button so that you do not miss on our content. Well, Bone Shaker TV is proudly sponsored by Foritech IT Solutions. And with me today, I have, of course, Batabile, I have our CEO, the boss who's always right, and I also have Sarah with us. So today we're going to be talking about tax, which is something that is very important and something that we need to learn of. I know a lot of us don't know what tax is, but I'm so glad that we have a tax consultant with us who's going to take us through it all. My co-hosts, everybody seems down. Is it because you people don't pay your taxes?
Tell them.
Mr. CEO, the way you're so, composed and
I think I'm not qualified.
Yeah, the only problem why I'm quiet is because I still have to pay the UIF for my workers, and then when you guys lose your job, you go for it. So now I'm still deliberating whether I'll get the money to pay. Because it's supposed to be 1% if I'm not mistaken, 1%, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm highly elated to have a tax consultant because I want to see the money that I have in the bank if it's supposed to be taxable or not. So before my host with the sweet voice, one of my producer named Kumsin from way back used to say sweet. I love the term sweet, yes, for real. So allegedly, and disclaimer,
yes,
when I say allegedly, most of the things we are going to say will not be factual apart from the text consultant, what she's going to say.
Yes.
And also, disclaimer, almost everything we're going to say here is coming from us. People who feel offended is not coming from Foritech Online Television or Foritech IT or Bone Shaker TV. Remember, those TVs are affiliated.
Yes, sir.
The same CEO and sponsored by the same company. So please pardon us, criticize us, subscribe, and then get the latest update on every information that we bring you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sarah, would you kindly introduce yourself? Even though I've already said your name.
Okay, so hi guys, my name is Sarah and I am a tax consultant. I specialize in all things taxes.
All things taxes. Well, to our viewers out there who are wondering why we are actually having this is going to be the first episode of 3 episodes, right?
Yes.
So the next one, I think we're also going to still have Sarah to explain further because she did say before we got on set that this is something that is broad. And she was even telling us things that we didn't even know were there that we need to know. But I think since this is an introduction of our 3-part episode today, we're just mainly basing it on tax. So Sarah, would you kindly tell us what really is tax?
Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you in the simplest of terms, right? So tax is simply something that's actually, it's a levy, right, that is actually enforced by the government on state revenue. So it's not only state revenue per se, it comes in different forms. So for example, your individual taxes, your profits from a business, or any commission.
Yeah.
So a good question to go with what is tax to give a better understanding would be, what is the purpose of tax?
Tax, yeah.
I think it will give a better, concept of why we collect taxes. So think about the gogo. Think about the gogo in the township right now, where there's no network. Gogo falls and gogo needs to go to the local clinic. Already just by me narrating where gogo's staying, you can already tell that there's problems with funds.
Yes.
So you contributing to your taxes or paying taxes, it actually funds that local clinic. Because when Gogo goes to the clinic, she's not expected to pay. But she'll be treated, right? Another example would be schools. The educators that you see are actually paid by the state. We call them civil servants, So your taxes help educate the next generation.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the better way to explain what is tax. It's a contribution basically to the government, but not only the government, to society itself.
Like the
So
whole
everyday
country at
living.
large, the
Yeah.
everyday live. Okay, so now who is eligible to actually pay tax?
That's a funny question because we all pay tax
One
one
way
way
or
or
the
another.
other.
When you go buy bread, check your slip. That VAT, the 15%, that's tax.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to speak based on work purposes,
Yeah.
there is a threshold, right? So currently for 2023, our threshold is 125,000 for annual income. So if you earn between 0 to 125,000, if you have 125 rand, like 125.1 cents, you will be eligible to pay tax. But if it's lower, you're below the threshold, right? So the reason why this concept has come into place is that the higher you earn, the more you pay, because you kind of can afford to contribute. But if I'm expecting you who earns 125,000 rand in a year to pay tax, in a way, the same taxes you're paying goes to you because you visit the local clinic. Your kids go to the government school. You understand? So that is basically, so everyone is eligible to pay tax, but if we have to speak in terms of work, only if you earn over 125,000. Regarding businesses, if you make a turnover of 50,000 rand in a year, we don't care your money. Because with businesses, we can't fully, how can I say, we can't fully actually investigate on how they're generating income because they get money in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. So we give businesses the opportunity to come to us with their financials to state that, okay, this year I made 1 million rand. Right. Based on that, that is how we will now obviously analyze, your VAT, for example, your pay as you earn, your SDR, your UIF, based on what you're giving and what the IRP files that you give your workers. Because a lot of people will think that as a business, they will state that we made 1 million this year, forgetting that they give their workers an IRP 5. So now if
Sorry if I may ask, what is an RIP? Pillar?
okay,
For us amateur, yeah.
An IRP 5 is a tax certificate.
Oh,
That
okay.
basically outlines your tax affairs for the year, right? So it has your medical aid, it has interest, it has investments from the bank. If you have any foreign dividends anyway, we also pick it up because there's something called third-party data that also sends us information. So if you bank, for example, I'm going to make up a name of a bank, Lovers Bank. Lovers Bank will send SARS your tax certificate based on your investments for the year. So there's a portion that's taxed and there's also a portion that's exempt. So if you how can I say, if you invest anything over 50,000, there's a portion that's exempt, right? And then there's a portion that is taxable. So the part that's taxable is mostly the interest, so that it doesn't directly affect your actual investment, right? So when I talk about the tax certificate, let's say the rich man over here gives you a tax certificate, right? Rich man has come under Bond Shaker TV to state that Bond Shaker TV this year has made 1 million rand.
Yes.
In his financials, there's a portion that will speak to salaries, bonuses, commissions, and so
Wages,
forth.
yeah.
When you come with your IRP5, which is your tax certificate, it has to correspond. Do you understand? So if Bond Shaker TV tells us that I have 10 employees and they say I paid Batabile for the year 200,000, that 200,000 was split like this, like this, like this. Monthly, Batabile contributed 2.5 for taxes, right? It has to show through the pay as you earn contributions from the company.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't understand that concept.
Yeah.
So they'll give you an IP5, right? And a lot of people will come to SARS and say, but I know my company sent you the IP5. Yes, they did. But the reason we urge for you guys to come is to verify that the information matches.
It's true. Okay. So why is it important that that is true? In case maybe, as we said, maybe the employer lied on his own, saying that maybe the employee is paid this much and yet it's not like that.
Tax invasion.
That's called tax invasion.
It's ways of invading taxes. So don't forget that tax invasion doesn't only have to do with not paying tax at all. It's cutting ways on how to pay tax.
Okay.
So you're understating the actual amount that you're supposed to pay. So what normally happens in your case, we will believe the employer, right?
Yeah.
Now you owe SARS 12,000 Rand because you've been undertaxed.
Okay.
To touch on that, Sarah, I think I once experienced something like that. I was working for this, which I'm not going to mention the name right now. So on my payslip, I will see that I am paying tax. But then I got an SMS from SARS saying that I am owing. So when I went there with my payslip, they said they have and I had to pay.
Exactly.
So in that case, how to do it? Because I ended up paying for the money, and when I went to confront my boss about that, and then it was something I was threatened to lose my job.
So now do you understand why I said we urge you guys to still come with your IRP5s? It's due to things like that. That's a common issue. The biggest, the biggest issue we have with that is that it actually hurts you as the taxpayer, because they scot-free. They change the company name and it doesn't exist anymore. And then we start pushing you to say, get this and this. So an employment contract, something to show that you actually worked for this company. Do you understand? So sometimes what we do is we'll request for you to get an affidavit. With getting the affidavit, we'll ask you to attach your payslips, because a lot of companies don't give the employees IRP5s.
Okay.
So, sorry, Satika. So, what you're telling, our viewers that every employee should literally not demand, or should I say demand for the RIP5 certificate from their employers.
Your IRP5 is your human right.
So, but I should get
it's like your ID.
Yeah, I should. I think a lot of us employees. When I say us, I'm talking for me and.
Are you referring to the rich man over here?
Like, we don't know all those things, so because we're trying to educate people out there so that they know. Because I didn't know that it's actually like a human right. Like, it's my right to actually hold that.
Even if you're below the threshold, you still have every right to receive an IRP5.
Okay, my questions are very huge. First, money is a legal tender, and for a country to have money and distribute to the citizens, they are also under International Monetary Fund. So it's a question somebody asked me, and we're going to work together. A person asked me, how come a country is poor? I'm coming to the tax. And then I did my research and I realized that every country has got right to cut his own money. Let me use the word cut. It might not be the appropriate English, but cut his own money or manufacture their own money. But this is where the tax comes in, to check inflation. So here we are missing the point of inflation here before we come to tax. Inflation is you can have more money in the system but less goods. So in terms of inflation, when we say inflation, the country now goes down, having more money, things for the money to buy is not there. And then what happens? Your International Monetary Fund, when they are auditing you, that's why South Africa is grey listed. You could see they attribute to money laundering and all these things.
Terms, yes.
Now, when it comes to tax, what I know is that from my expert is that I have been lucky to work with government for 15 years. Now, tax is a very funny thing. We cannot compare government taxes to private taxes. I was working with I wouldn't mention that with government.
Yes.
As a teacher, let me just say it, because I was working as a teacher. What they did was, when they tax us, the government has already paid. We get our IRP5. Now, we never experienced the issue of where they say the government never, because remember, they are the government. But what I know now is that every bank has been mandated to give you an IRP5, even if you are earning R2.
Yes.
If you go into your app, you will see there's a place that says
that will say request
IRP5. You get my point. So here, my question to her is this. If you talk about threshold, let me explain, because she's been giving us
big terms.
A threshold is your cut-off point.
Yeah.
When we say cut-off point, if your cut-off point is below or above 50,000, they will charge you 50.111. They will charge you as a private business. Now, my question is, what if you are not registered with a VAT?
Yeah,
are you eligible to pay?
I actually wanted to ask that. Isn't it at times when you apply for a job or things like that, they usually say they want tax number?
Yes.
No, that is different from.
Yeah, okay.
The tax number is it's like a South African ID.
Okay, you mean in the business or okay?
Now, your VAT is the value added tax.
Tax, yeah.
The value added tax is a tax incentive or tax incentive.
Yeah.
That is paid to SARS when you register the business. Remember, when you register a business in South Africa, the sole business belongs to SARS. When I say that, people always fume. I say, you don't own South Africa. South Africa own you.
That's true.
Once you open a business here and you register for value added tax, whatever importation you do locally or internationally, you need to pay SARS. As far as you have the VAT number. But I'm asking, if you don't have the VAT number, your threshold is still applicable to?
So
is it a tough question?
I'm going to give you an insight. We don't really want you guys to register for VAT because we have to give you money back. So hence VAT is not like your individual tax where you have to have a tax number. It's optional. But it would be advisable if you're running a business, an establishment that makes a certain amount to have a VAT number. Do you understand? But we don't really speak on it because it's more money coming out from us back to you. So like the rich man said, your company belongs to me, right? You're paying me a certain portion. Now, where it differs, in a way, when you also get VAT, the VAT number, you're collecting taxes on behalf of SARS. That is why we owe you a portion back. Now, in every business, there's always a loophole. That loophole has now caused a bit of a problem for us because it's opening other loopholes for certain unregistered businesses to register for VAT numbers. So we get a lot of fraudulent VAT claims for non-existent businesses. That is why when you register for VAT, you need to give us 3 VAT invoices with incomes above 60,000 with a copy of your bank statement showing those amounts coming in. The company that...
Is it per year?
No.
A month?
A month.
Okay.
Because you're running a business, so we assume that you're running every day. So we can't ask it yearly because it's easy to forge something, in that sense. When it's monthly, we easily see discrepancies within the statements.
Okay.
Because one will be forged at some point. Some months you'll have someone, come in with the 25,000 rand, but we want 50,000 and above. That's how we operate. So for VAT, you need to know that your turnover is 50,000 rand monthly.
And then you pay, I'm sorry, my girls, what I'm about, the questions I'm asking is very technical.
Yes, sir.
So you pay attention. So now, with a 50,000 rand, I'm going to pay 15%. Okay, every month, isn't it? Now, let's pause that. Let me come to individual tax before I come there. I have money in my personal bank account. Let's say it's about 400,000. Do I have to pay tax?
What is the money doing in your account?
Perfect. My ways of making money is this. I'm an expatriate from Ghana, but I'm a South African citizen now.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I inherited some money from my dad, and I brought the money here, which I'm running business with.
Okay.
But it's not in my business account. It's on my personal account.
Can I ask you a question?
Perfect.
When you came in with the money, you had, because I assume it's a certain amount, did you have to state that you're coming in with that money?
Perfect. Let me come in there. Under the tax regulation rules, there's something called investigation and reporting, which is supposed to be done by the bank, not me.
Yes.
So the bank is supposed to do their job.
Hence, I'm asking, was there a disclosure in terms of you with the bank? So not
I did so.
Okay.
So my question here, my money lying in the bank as an individual person, do I still have to pay 15% of my money lying in the bank?
But you do.
In my personal bank account?
That's the genuine truth, you do. The charges that you're paying at the bank, your interest fees, and so forth. Don't forget that that's tax.
Okay.
In all formats.
My love.
Oh.
However,
so I'm saying I don't need to pay SARS because I
No.
was about to say that. When I go and buy Savannah and swipe my card, there's a value added tax.
Tax there.
So I'm paying. All I want to know, because I don't want us to invade tax. Viewers out there, South Africa is our beloved country. And schools paying teachers, fixing roads, paying the space securities, the government, bringing medicine into the country, especially HIV is a headache for everyone. COVID is a headache for everyone. All these things are possible because of our lovely South African Revenue Service. The government doesn't have any money anywhere to collect apart from the value-added tax that is being given, the tax that has been given to them. It rejuvenates the money back into the society for us to get it. So please, we need to pay. Now, I'm saying so because I don't want money lying in my bank account and not paying that. But so far as my tax expert says, I don't need to take 15% and give them. But so far as bank charges are being taken, then that's sweet, as Kumsin said, sweet. Now let me come, my love, let me come to the VAT. If my turnover is 50 grand and in the course of the year, the 365 days, some part of the month I can make 60,000 rand, do I still have to pay you your 15%? No, because it's below the threshold.
So with VAT, right, there's terms and conditions. Okay. So don't forget there's periods to it. So it's not necessarily taken as a month per se, but it's a particular period.
Thank you.
So majority of the times, even if you're not making that amount, you still need to declare. Okay. On our end, we will call it as a zero return based on your VAT due to the fact that you were not able to meet. So that's another thing I also just want to say. Like, if you are required to, pay taxes, even if you're unemployed, but you were employed.
Yes.
We don't get notice of that. Sometimes we really need you to come in, go onto the app, and just do a zero return stating that you are unemployed.
Okay. This is the question. I understand the period, right? My question here is very voluminous. Let's say within that stipulated period, let's say for 3 months, I still need to submit my bank statement,
Your returns.
and my returns. And now, with that threshold, if it's 3 months for the period, would the 3 months include say 150, or you say I'm still collating? The word collating means gathering, collating these 3 amounts to be 50,000 before I take out the 15%. Is that a good question?
It's a very relevant question.
Yes.
So with that being said, sir, right, you've actually broken it down quite well. Like you said, it's a gathering of 1, 2, and 3 coming together to see a portion. Because don't forget, when you bring this invoice and you bring this invoice and you bring this invoice, you you're giving me an invoice. Bond Shaker TV is giving me an invoice. Don't forget that Bond Shaker is using the same invoice that you've sent me, right?
Okay.
So it's technically split because it's 2 people claiming because they both have VAT numbers.
Okay.
So hence we say it's a collective. So we refer to it as CIS, Collective Information Statement. So you bringing to make a certain percentage. That's how we do the VAT return.
Okay, that is this case you are talking of you giving me back my returns.
Yes.
I'm talking of you collecting.
It's within the same because we collect via return.
Okay, cool. Now I know the tax returns you start paying us from after the financial year, April, right? Year end after they read the budget up to October, then you start collecting. You see, I know. That's where you come after people who have forged. You send your team to come and check if the company exists and stuff like that. And the auditors to read the books. But I'm saying, before I get into my returns, I don't need it now. For me to pay you, you need a report back every month.
Yes.
Or you need that period.
Okay. So, Mr. Richman, I'm going to ask you, we're speaking based on business, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not taking it, girl.
No, sir.
So with business, Mr. Richman, there's different types of taxes. So someone can have a business and be a provisional taxpayer. And someone can have a business and be in the ITR 14, which is company returns, where your VAT and so forth would fall place. So with VAT, sir, you have to do it every month, the same way you would do your pay as you earn, your UIF, your STL.
Okay.
Every single month.
When I do it every single month, you'll be taking your 15%. If I'm not provisional and I'm under whatever.
Under business, we take a portion.
Okay, the last question before you answer it. What if all this thing I'm saying, I'm not registered for VAT?
It's a loss.
To who?
Both of us.
God bless you. I love you. Have I invaded tax?
Not necessarily. It could also be lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Would a tax man come to me and said, okay, you have all these things. Are you registered? Are you paying anything to the state?
You wouldn't be penalized.
Okay, thank you. I rest my case for now.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
But that doesn't mean that people should not.
Viewers out there, please register for VAT. Let us build South Africa, because we are in total blackout. If you are going to not register for VAT, it means we are not going to get money to buy fuel from SARS. Remember, all these hula balloons they are doing in this country, it's SARS who provide them the money. For the budget statement, maybe you are not aware, they wait for the report back from SARS before they read the budget. I think I'm making sense.
Yeah, they've increased our revenue.
And I think I did a research. I'm not taking your job. South Africa and Egypt is the only country that declares profits on their VAT returns. I think 2011 and 2011 to 2015, they were almost R1 trillion. Yeah. I think if I'm exaggerating, you must correct me. They made a trillion, and it's the biggest SARS collection on the African soil and Egypt. So my question here is, I rest my case. You can continue.
No, so don't rest your case.
I can't
Remember,
ask her because it's a bit political because she can't answer it. Why are we sleeping in darkness? Am I making sense?
No, that's a political
Sweet.
stance. That's a political stance.
I like that word, sweet.
So Sarah, my question is tax return and VAT.
They're the same based on the return, but not the same for the people. So you wouldn't do, so as an individual taxpayer, you have nothing to do with that. That's solely based on businesses, you understand?
Okay.
Whereas you do a normal return based on you, do you understand? With the VAT, don't forget, that's business related, more on your expenditures, you know, your, what's coming in, what's going out, transactions basically. You understand? And hence we have to look at it every period. But we can't do the same with you. So imagine me asking you to submit payslips, not even payslips, receipts from what you do in a month, every month. But we require that from a business.
Okay.
Hence the invoice.
I think I wanted to do our next episode. I'll be doing illustration on the board for us to. I want to understand something. Now, assuming I want to. Okay, if you have a question to ask.
Yes, because you just touched on receipts.
Okay.
And I heard this thing so that if maybe you are a foreigner in a country, well, let's make an example of South Africa, come here, and then when I'm leaving, I can give them my receipts, anything that I've spent, and then I go to customs. The customs when I get to the airport, and then they pay me back. They give me my money. The VAT that are on those receipts. Okay. How true is that?
Yeah, I can answer that from
experience.
Yes.
I was in Heathrow Airport when I was in the UK. I bought some few stuff for my family. So when I was about to leave, the guy who escorted me said, boss, you can take your receipt to this section. You know me, I like argument. I said, for what? I said, take the money back. The value added tax.
Yeah.
So I gathered everything that I bought. When I go to Heathrow Airport, there's a corner there where you see their tax collecting. You know, UK, United Kingdom, they survive solely on tax. They don't have anything there. No mineral, no nothing.
Yeah, true.
So when I got there, I saw about 60 workers with 60, how do you call it? It's like polling station for voting for a president. They have stands.
Stands, yeah.
Oh, tell us.
Yes, thank you, my love. Now, when I submitted, they check the receipt, they punch in the receipt number. These people are powerful. Every item I bought shows there.
Yes.
And then after that, they gathered all my receipts and paid me back. Then the girl was complimenting my color. Are you from Africa? Color is that? Now I have chocolate color, guys.
You your melon.
When I first came, I was like Kojo.
Oh, okay.
Very dark.
Okay.
Yeah, like Kumsing.
Yeah, your melanin was.
Yes. Now, I'm saying this because the girl now explained to me. He said, no, we don't need your money. We don't need your money. I said, why? He said, you've purchased something from us. We have taxed you.
Oh.
If you were staying here, we're not going to pay you now.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you are leaving the shores of our country. We need to refund the money that you've spent on us. A certain percentage. Really?
So
does that also apply in South Africa?
Yes, everywhere in the
You
world.
get
even-
a nice amount, eh?
yeah, so
Nice
even,
amount, then I got
so
nice
even if
amount.
it's grocery shopping, even if I went to buy bread, I
Everything
can keep
same
it.
when you are leaving.
I went to buy Savannah.
But,
I keep
but
it.
remember, it goes according to the date.
Yeah.
There they did with the date.
Yeah,
I don't know whether there they did with the date, because remember, if I give you a chance, you start collecting from when you were 22 years now, which means the state will owe you forever.
Hence, they look at your passport. It has
They look
to
at
be
your
within
pa-
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
stay, yeah.
stay, yeah.
And they gave me the money, and I think if I'm not exaggerating or adding some figures, I spent about £1,000 and they gave me close to £220. I was shocked.
Wow.
And they don't give you the funny, but they never gave me pounds. They gave me rands.
Oh,
They gave me
because you're
rands
already
there.
coming.
At the-
Oh, okay, yeah,
They
yeah.
gave me
It
rands
makes,
to take back.
yeah, it makes sense because what are
Extra
you?
ticket.
So with South African one, I have anytime I go home, I don't purchase anything.
Come.
I only buy the duty free. They don't give you money on the duty free shop.
Yeah, you can't.
The
Which one
duty
is-
free
which one
shop,
is
you don't.
duty free.
Okay.
Remember, we educating.
So duty free when you're within the airport, right?
Uh-huh.
There's a section. So it's not even a section. It's basically the whole pod. It's not taxed.
Oh, everything
So,
bought to
yeah,
the
so
the app. Oh, okay.
In natural sense, anytime I go home or I'm flying to the state or
You
whatever,
buy
I buy anything I buy there. Those ones are not taxed,
Taxed,
so you can't claim.
claim. It's only if maybe my grocery shoppings, like I bought
Like
from the
when you buy TV
malls
from
and-
Macro
Yeah.
and you're taking it to Ghana
Yeah.
or the
you would do
UK or
that.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like Kumsin sent
His girlfriend.
sent the mom
Oh, not the girlfriend.
a fridge for 120,000 rand. The receipt, Kumsin has right to claim at the airport. But remember, Kumsin must not send anyone.
It must be him.
No. Remember, the receipt doesn't bear your name.
Yes.
The person taking it will carry the passport and the receipt
Suit.
and claim there at their office. Remember, they've got an
Customs.
office.
Yeah, customs.
Customs still belongs to them.
Yes.
Those are the toughest people ever on
Those
South
are my
Africa.
best friends.
Yes.
so-
So they are the real do of this country. Remember, reporting and monitoring is done by them. Importation and everything.
Yeah, I think on the next episode would actually have
No,
to,
I have a lot of. That's why
to-
maybe the episode will be 5.
yeah, to
So-
touch on that.
For me, not deviating. Kumsin, whoever Kumsin sent to take the stuff can claim. Excuse me, my love. What is the percentage of giving us cashback? Because I've forgotten. Because UK, I remember. I think it's about 1.2%. South Africa, I don't know.
So it actually differs basically at the airport, right? And the reason being, right? The reason for that is because some people use, what is this called? The international cards. So they would also have to get a certain based on that. So normally the rate was at 1.5 to 1.7.
Percent,
Yes.
which is low, eh?
Yes.
But
So
UK is
now-
the same, 1 point something.
So people complained about their Travelex, their Amex cards, and
Yeah,
so
Amex
forth.
card,
So you would actually
Mastercard,
need to also show proof of that. The charge.
But if you're buying with a South African card, you should know that's 1 point something percent. It's very low.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it's within the quarters of South Africa. And that one I even doubt because, okay, cool. Back to some question that I want to ask you. Now, the returns from a company, if I want to take VAT and I want to contribute to you guys, if you guys are paying me back my returns, what's the percentage?
But it's not based on percentage, sir.
It's based upon?
It's based on what's on your return.
Okay. Let me give you an example. I go and buy goods worth 5,000 rand for my Foritech Kefit Club that we are about to do. And I'm registered for VAT, and I send my receipt. With that 5,000 rand, how much do I get back when I'm submitting for return?
That's a whole calculation. I would actually need to do it for you on the board.
That is what I'm saying.
I'd have to actually show you how it's done.
So
Because
is the
I
boss
can't
coming
say
here
it.
being useful?
It is, sir.
Okay, cool. Can you give us a rough estimate? Because I'm doing this for the viewers out there. Some guys are always taking the risk of making people to do bet numbers and defrauding the state. We beg you. If you are caught,
yeah.
it's 25 years in jail. Do not practice the act of taking money from the state when you know you've not bought anything. Comply with the rules and regulation of the state because South Africa belongs to the people and the people who live in it, regardless whether you're a foreigner or not, or what. You don't have to invade tax because the people at prison are being fed by SARS. So please, can you give us a rough estimate if I buy things for 5,000? Just a rough. Any amount that you need, any amount that.
Yeah, because 5,000 is already a zero return. Like you're not gonna get anything. Yeah,
so it has to be way above.
So give me something so that I know.
So let me say, let's say
50K.
You send me a collective
receipt
of invoices for 300K. You're looking at a good 70 to 80,000 rand refund. Do you understand? Like that ratio.
70 to 80,000.
So let's say 300,000
a year, nah?
Not a year, because with VAT it's monthly.
Oh, you get it monthly?
Yeah, VAT returns, they get money every month. Like if you're not chosen for audit, if you're chosen for audit, all the best.
So within, okay, perfect. So if I get things, okay, so let me strike the balance. If 70 is to 300, say 100,000. If I'm buying things for 100,000, 100 divided by 70 times 300, can somebody work it out for us? For the amount of 100,000? I'm doing mathematical. Where's my phone?
100,000.
So it's going to be 70 divided by
7 into thing equals 1 plus 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, so 70 divided by 100 times 300,000. Okay, she's working out. I just want to.
Can I also just explain that a VAT return and a company return are two different things?
No, I'm not talking about the company return.
So you just specifically VAT, yeah. VAT is monthly. Like you have to, like right now, it's due on Monday.
Yeah.
Depending on your financial year end, because companies can't have the same.
How much do we get?
Is that how much? 100,000?
210,000.
Oh, you've already calculated it. Why did you make me
calculate? If 70,000 is to 300,000, if 70,000 is to, so 100,000 what? I said give me 100 divided by 70. So it's going to be 21,000. So 100,000 you get 21,000 cash back. Okay, thank you. Then I'm doing this to say I'm going to be registering for VAT because my turnover every month is 100,000 every month in my company, in my personal bank account. I'm not saying this for you to come after me.
The way your employees just looked at you.
No, it's none of their business because they don't know which turnover, whether I'm selling my body or what. My turnover in my company. But remember,
we belong to your company.
Yes. So therefore, the viewers out there, be honest and register for VAT. If your turnover is more than 50,000, let's support South Africa. It's sweet, as Kumsin said. You'll get a cashback. But be honest in reporting.
Yeah, be honest in your return.
Yes,
it
please.
It is investigated.
Even if it's a zero return, because you know the funny part people don't know. Let me put my glasses down so that people see my cute face. People don't know that if SARS goes down, South Africa goes down as well. Let me tell you something. You know why West Africa is very poor? You know why? My producers will tell you. They don't obey tax returns.
Africa in general.
No, South Africa is okay.
I think maybe
no, I'm not trying to downplay my country.
Lack of knowledge. You know,
there's nothing like Sweden.
Because now the things that I'm serious, so the lack of knowledge.
Can I tell you something?
And being ignorant also about it.
Can I tell you something that you put it in your pocket? Every leader on the West African soil was staying overseas. All of them traveled to America. They are aware. There's no political leader who has never traveled to the Western world.
But what about the citizens?
No, they are supposed to enforce that.
That's what I'm saying.
The citizens they don't have a problem. Remember, let me tell you, do you know how SARS operates in South Africa here? Do you know how they operate? If I'm lying, she should tell me I'm lying. SARS has got, they call it power of attorney by the Attorney General to go into the bank account of even the financial institution.
Oh yeah, we have access to
everything, man.
Even your house.
And I got to know it from when I was in education. That, do you know how much they were paying teachers in my school? When I go and collect the pay slip we call it the pay sheet. At that time, I started working in 2006, the Department of Education. From 2010, I was asked to collect the pay sheet and the pay slips. They were giving the school 1.7 million every month for teacher salaries. Yeah, you get my point. And now, there's a place called Gauteng Share Service, GSSC, where all the monies from SARS goes to, and they pay all the government in South Africa here. SARS have got the power from the Reserve Bank to go into the financial institution. Remember, First National Bank, all the banks in this country don't have power. Even the board of directors don't have power. They still seek monetary fund from SARS and the Reserve Bank, true or false. So SARS is a powerful institution. They have right to go into, say, Capitec. Capitec can declare whatever. But SARS have got power to go into their financial backings and say, no, look.
But does SARS also pay?
Yeah, we have a tax number.
They have a tax number. Remember, it's a company, but it's for the government. In the same way, remember, let me give you a scenario. I'm working for government, but they still take me tax for government.
I'm working for SARS.
But they still pay tax. Because remember, the SARS or the tax or whatever their company is still under the laws of South Africa, Constitution. You get my point? So, coming to West Africa, they cannot tell me that they will ask somebody to carry a notebook and be moving to check what you've paid. No. So you must learn the mechanism South Africa is using and the mechanism Egypt is using. What about look at the biggest country in the world? You know the biggest country in the world? The largest population country in the world is China. And densely populated country in the world is China as well. How is the country becoming a first world country? How are they taking tax? It's because of the mechanism. They don't need to come to you. One. They are trying to do with, they are doing cashless society. Everything must go through because when I was in America, my sister asked me, and my mother asked me, my son, what are you carrying cash for? Because where you are going, they will never take cash. They want you to swipe because once you swipe and goes into the speed point, goes into the bank, it reports to their revenue service already. Why can't West Africa do that? What is wrong about that? You know why I'm fuming now? I'm fuming because if you look at the infrastructure of South Africa and the rest of Africa, it's appalling. But we had independence 1957. They had independence 1990 what?
4.
So at the end of the day, I'm very passionate because people tend to run away from Ghana and come here and they are abused. I'm not saying they are abusing us is a problem. We are causing the abuse to be like that because if social amenities like water cannot be provided in a country where you had independence 1957 and South Africa, you run here with a population of 50 million are doing that. Why can't you come? Because if you said it's ignorant, that's where I don't agree with my girlfriend here. There's nothing like ignorant because the citizens are not a problem. Our leaders.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
based on that? Would you say a contributing factor in terms of, I'm not going to take West Africa only, because personally, also us,
Okay.
on the
I'm
central
speaking from
side,
yeah.
I think it's the same thing, and I think a contributing factor from our leaders is greed.
It's greed. And she's right. Let me ask you a question. Look at a sweet country like Swaziland. Right? Very small. And they've got some minerals there. But the budget, I don't want to mention them, of some leaders there can feed half of the country. Are you trying to tell me that the citizens are ignorant or they are being cheated by their money?
No, so I thought maybe you're saying about paying tax.
No, the paying tax, let me tell you.
No, I thought maybe you're
Okay, I
basing
now
on-
understand.
yeah, that's why I was saying maybe
A citizen, they
the
can
loophole.
clamp you down if you don't pay tax. America, do you know how they do it? So viewers, we are not arguing, but I want you to know the benefit of tax. That's why we brought an expert to the Bonshika TV. If tax are paid well in a country and leaders follow, people will not travel to people's country.
That's true.
For what?
Genuinely true.
Yeah.
Look at Rwanda. Why is Rwanda now becoming the first world country?
They're not playing.
You know what the leader did? The leader is a military leader. You know what he did? He said to either one. He first came in and said, oh, look, the whole country is dirty. So he's going to instill what? Discipline in dirtiness. 2, he said, okay, all the monies that have been looted from the country into the Swiss bank, they appealed to the International Monetary Fund to return their money back. And those people were jailed. 3, he said, as for today, every citizen, you will comply with the norms and standard of paying tax. Now, go back. Our editor will put it there. How Rwanda look like. Rwanda now is even fighting for immigrants from UK to come to their country.
It's so clean.
Yeah, so
They are
I
fighting
also
for
heard that, I
immigrants
think also
to come to their country.
all those
Rwanda, which was
churches
a
and
third
things
world
like that.
country, which Ghana was richer than, is now better than Ghana by far. So what are you trying to tell me? When I came to South Africa 2002, here was like heaven, Yeovil. What is happening now? What's going on now? So the reason why I brought our specialist here, and I've learned a lot of things from her, because I think me and Kumsin them too, we must start contributing to test, because we are robbing them.
Especially Kumsin, guys.
Yes, Kumsin.
I need his money.
Because he's working with Toms and they are making a lot of money and stuff like that. So we will sit him down and then you pay tax. If you're my love,
Yes, sir.
talk to them. Countries out there cannot take notebook to go and collect tax.
Never.
Notebooks. Kojo, am I lying? Notebook to collect tax. Ghana is doing that. They said now they do what? You heard it that day. They go and sit at your shop and wait for how many things are what? Are being bought, and they write. Look at this thing.
Also, the money collectors.
But how do you do this
the
thing?
best.
This thing was done in Gold Coast time when they were doing barter system. Okay, my last question. They said there's a way, like the retail shop, like ShopRite, these big giant shops. They put something on their computer for it to report to SARS. Is it true?
So they're part of our LBC, which is our large business community. So basically, there's a system for them. You understand, in terms of monitoring, because at some point you can't. But they also have obviously their bookkeepers, their auditors, to make sure, because sometimes you have issues where the system crashes, where they also have to resort back to writing. So that has to obviously be pulled back when they reconcile. So with that, there is like a tracker.
Oh, you
sort of
guys do that?
system, yes.
Okay.
Where,
Those are the big companies.
yes. So for example, your Sage, your payroll thing. There's a link where we are able to also see some form of activity, but yet again, for safety, they are given a division that solely like focuses only on them. So I wouldn't touch large businesses.
Okay.
I mean, if you 2 million is nothing for me, so come to. But if you're clocking.
Yeah. Okay. Now with the tax rebate, I think I don't want to ask a lot of questions because I've got a lot of questions. I wanted to ask about tax rebate.
Because our producers already saying, okay guys, you've had a lot of time.
Yeah, they are bored. The producers are bored because you know when you're busy invading tax and they are talking about tax, you feel uncomfortable in your seat. Come see and go. Sweet. Okay.
Well, to our viewers out there, thank you for actually staying till this long. If you've watched this video and got to this point and you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and as well comment. Give us your own questions that you would like our tax consultant or tax practitioner, tax specialist.
Her name will be put. I think her name will be put. Guys, I'm not taking your job.
Yes, sir.
You know, I love this thing on my channel. Her name will be put there. People, please, those who are invading tax, come so that we save you. We call it Save Our Soul, SOS. We have a SOS in Bonshika TV. That will help you. SOS is here. Okay, thank you, guys. Her name will be put there. You contact her. What she's doing, she's not doing anything for you to get money. She's only helping you not to invade your tax.
Taxpayer education.
Yeah.
Education.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so that
yes.
I think at the end of the year, we'll sell the story to SARS how this young, beautiful girl came into the station to educate people, and people are paying tax. God bless you.
Thank you. I don't have anything to say, but Tabitha, do you have anything to say?
I've learned a lot today. So I'm hoping to coming episode. Thanks, Miss Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Please,
Mrs.
please,
Sarah.
please. Oh, please don't get tired of us, because I think this is something that we need to be educated on. We've been very ignorant as a people, and I think the things that you've just said now have actually opened not only our eyes as we're sitting there, the whole team and the viewers, and of course our subscribers out there. Well, thank you so much from me. It's TTFN. Tata for now.
Sweet.